Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Gorman. I'm a member of VAN's advisory board and would like to let everybody know that we will be recording tonight's virtual bull roast, and VAN and Javon will make the recording available for any folks that weren't able to attend with us virtually here this evening. I'd like to begin by just saying how thankful we are to have the support of Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield as the title sponsor of this year's SAFE virtual bull roast. They're an outstanding supporter of SAFE, and we could not do this valuable work without their help. I'd also like to take a moment to thank and recognize Loyola Blakefield for their continuous support and for their ability to provide such an appropriate location for the bull roast when we can be together. And we do look forward to when we can gather once again in person. I'll now hand it off to my co-chair, Ray Brusca, to share a few words of gratitude. Ray?
Thanks, Mike. First, I'd like to thank everybody that has joined us today for this. I know all of our schedules are very busy, so thank you for attending. I want to thank my chairs for this event, and that's Mike and Ann Gorman, as well as my wife, Laura Brusca. And I just want to echo Mike's comments about thanking all of our very generous sponsors. This event, and Laura's going to go through all the numbers in a little bit, but it is a success. We were worried when we were going to do a virtual one, what could we do? This is a huge fundraiser each year for SAFE, so we are very thankful for all of our sponsors that have come through, even though we're not gathering in person. And while we've received support from all of our sponsors, we're missing out on some opportunities that we normally raise a lot of funds the day of the event. Since we're not there, we don't have some things going on that we normally generate quite a bit of support for SAFE. So what we've done is we've created a text message donation system. All you have to do is text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the phone number 443-232-2581. I'll repeat that again near the end of my comments. Plus, it's going to be flashed up a number of times during the presentation day. But if you text the word GIVE to 443-232-2581, you receive a link to make a donation to SAFE. And our goal is to raise $10,000 today through our text message system. The good news is, by the time we started, we were already at $2,000 through the cash donation. So consider making a donation to SAFE. It's real easy to do, and the number will be repeated several times throughout the next 90 minutes. Now, what I'd like to next sort of transition to is, we all know Van is a tremendous athlete, and all world-class athletes are typically honored, and we're honoring Van with two special mementos. We've all gone to Oriole games and so forth and collected bobbleheads, so we've actually created, believe it or not, a Van Brooks bobblehead. He's fading in and out there. But if you go to the SAFE website, you'll see pictures of the bobbleheads, and we've also created a more higher-end Van Brooks statue. So if you donate $250 today, we will mail you a Van Brooks bobblehead. If you donate $500, we'll send you the statue. If you donate $750 or more, we'll send you both. So these are limited editions. We only had so many made up of each one of these. It's a great way to honor Van with these special mementos, as well as to raise money for SAFE. So don't delay, they're not going to last long. So now I'm going to hand it off to my wife and co-chair, as well as the grant manager for SAFE, Laura Brusca. Laura, you want to take it away?
Thank you, Ray. Oh, so let's talk some numbers. I love the numbers. Just to give you an overview, in 2019, we raised $314,000 from all of our fundraising sources to support the operations of SAFE. In 2020, we upped that goal to $348,000, knowing we were also going to have our second center, the Workforce Development Center, come up. The Bull Roast is our single biggest fundraiser. It usually nets around 25 to 30% of what we need for that annual budget. So it contributes significantly. As you can imagine, COVID really presented a challenge with this Bull Roast. There's so much we can't do, so it's been great to see what we can do. So I just want to let you know that already this year, The Bull Roast has raised $29,000 through its sponsors. We are incredibly grateful that during a year when we had to pivot to an online fundraiser, that our sponsors have stood by us. These are the sponsors that were with us last year, some the year before that. They're listed in the program. We thank you so much. Another group that has stood by SAFE and has made a significant $24,000 contribution is the SAFE IND Scholarship Giving Circle. This was formed in 2017. 21 women gathered to support 2 SAFE students as they attended the Institute of Notre Dame. With the closing of the school in June, it left the group with remaining funds and a decision to be made. The group unanimously voted it was decided the funds should be directed to SAFE. This is a most generous gift, and these donors are also recognized in the program by name. We want to thank the Giving Circle for all they've done for SAFE in supporting SAFE students in a multitude of ways. So this brings our total raised to date $53,000, which is pretty good. In spite of not being in person at Loyola Blakefield's Nod Hall with delicious food and having Shelley Brooks's prize wheels, Big Van's arm span raffles, and the silent auction. But what it is, it's a testament that SAFE is an organization that keeps going and keeps growing. We all thank you for your confidence in our work, Van's leadership, and furthering the mission of SAFE. It is the most tangible evidence of what we can accomplish together. What you are about to see here today is proof of the excellent stewards Van and his staff are with the resources you provide, your time, your materials, and your funds. So let me turn this event over to our Executive Director and Founder, Van Brooks.
Thank you so much. And hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. We truly appreciate it. I'm going to quickly give you just an overview of the things that you'll see and hear today. But I want to start by letting you know that you can download the brochure on our website at safealternative.org/bull-roast and just click the button download brochure and you'll be able to see and follow along with the program today. You'll also see all of our sponsors that are there. And then you'll also see the lineup again. So we're gonna start with some videos, Together We Can, which talks about what we did when COVID hit. We'll also show videos of our Safe Camp, our Learning Pod, and then you'll hear testimonials from some of our parents and our students. Again, I'm Van Brooks, and I'm happy to be here this evening. And I truly appreciate all the support that we've received over the years. When I started this organization back in 2012, it was just a dream. And so to see how everything has come to fruition, it wouldn't have happened without the support of you. And I'm truly, truly appreciative. So let me talk about COVID. As we all know, COVID hit in March and it completely shut everything down and shook everyone up. And we had no clue of how we were going to proceed with life. Even till this day, we're still suffering from the effects of COVID, which is why we have to come to you today virtually. But what did COVID do to the students and the families that we serve? COVID completely shattered everything for them, for a lot of them. And so what we did was, as a team at SAFE, we got together and said, well, what can we do to truly support our families in the most meaningful ways? We didn't want to just rush in. We didn't want to just not just give things and not listen to exactly what it was they needed. And the things that we realized and the things that we heard from our families and our students was that they were truly missing the education. The work that we do here at SAFE, we focus on closing those educational and those experience gaps. And COVID wasn't going to do anything but widen those things. And so with schools being completely shut down, with limited access to food for some of the families that we work with, we wanted to solve a lot of those issues. Fortunately, our partner school, Franklin Square Elementary and Middle, they stepped up and was able to provide food to all the families in the neighborhood. But the one piece that was really missing was virtual programming. And so we got together as a team again and said, okay, we're going to create a campaign called Together We Can. Together we can get through COVID. Together we can solve the educational issues. Together we can try to have some sense of normalcy and some sense of face time with each other. And we developed a 10-week program where from Monday through Thursday, we have various programs that we're running. And those programs range from poetry lessons, we had music lessons, we had a program called Celebrity Fitness where we had former and current professional athletes join us and work out. And so I just would like to show the video that we have created to showcase everything that we did during our Together We Can campaign. And then you'll also be able to find a recap of all of the programs on our website by going to safealternative.org, clicking the tab virtual, and then clicking programs. So enjoy the video.
Because it says, a rim is in the rain.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
My eyes returned back over to the window, looking past the bars I dated.
How's online schooling going for you?
Good.
Okay.
And as you saw there, that was just a glimpse of some of the programs that we ran. You can always, again, go to our website and look at all the video recaps. And everyone who participated loved it. And it was very important that we were able to provide those things because we still wanted our students to have access to us and have access to the things that they would need, especially during times when they were locked in and they didn't have much going on because they couldn't come outside. And so the workouts was very important because they had to stay active. People had to stay active. And that was one of the things that we saw was that a lot of folks was not just moving around and wasn't working out. And if you were anything like me, you may have gained some pounds by sitting around. And so we just wanted to make sure that our kids and our families were being active. We had students from Towson University volunteer and do a poetry program. As you saw, we had a music program. And everything was just, it just went really, really, really well. And that all was done by volunteers. Volunteers stepped up in these times of needs, as everyone always do. They stepped up and served our communities and helped us get through that portion of COVID. And so at this moment, what I would like to do is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. And after this 5-minute break, we're going to get back to you and continue with the program. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your break and enjoyed the photos that were on display during that time. One thing that I also want to mention is if at any point in time you have any questions, please put them in the chat and I'll be more than happy to answer as many of them as possible. We do have someone monitoring the chat, so please feel free to put questions there or any comments that you may have. So you just heard about our response to COVID with our 10-week virtual programming Together We Can campaign. Now you're gonna hear about our Safe Camp. Now this has been at the 5th annual Safe Camp, something that we run every single year since we've started SAFE. And the Safe Camp is very important for us and it's very important for our students because there's a thing called the summer learning slide. And the summer learning slide is students oftentimes will lose or forget a lot of things that they've learned during the academic year, during the summer periods when they're not in school. And we work really hard to prevent that because we understand that that further sets so many students back. Additionally, the importance of a safe camp is to keep kids active, keep our students active during the times when they have the most free time. It also reinforces a lot of the lessons that we've learned during the academic year. Now, during the academic year, we typically run anywhere from 20 to 30 different programs that last for 6 to 8 weeks. And we try to associate a field trip with every last one of those programs. But depending on the time of the year, that will determine if we're able to go out and actually do those field trips. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But that's where the Safe Camp steps in. Now, Safe Camp was extremely important this year because of COVID. And what we did as far as planning the Safe Camp was, after we had our 10-week virtual programming, we decided that we really wanted to do summer camp in person like we always do. The way that our summer camp is typically work will be 12 students. We would take them out, again, to different places all across the state. Last year, we expanded that to 20 students, but unfortunately with COVID, we had to scale back to 12. And the reason we had to scale back to 12 is because we wanted to make sure that our students were safe. And I wanted to make sure that our staff was safe. And the only way and the best way that we could do that is to follow CDC guidelines and to follow the guidelines that were put in place for COVID-19, especially when it came to gathering. And the best way to go about doing that was to break our groups back down to 12 and then put them into groups of 6. So that way there would never be more than 10 people in the Safe Center at one time. And the precautions that we took, we made sure that all of our students wore masks. We made sure our students wore masks. We made sure that our staff also wore masks. We took temperatures every single day when students come in the door, as well as when they were leaving. There was hand sanitizer placed at every last table. They also had their own book bags with their own materials. So the students never had to use other things from other students unless we were playing games. And when we were playing games, we made sure that everybody participating always used hand sanitizer before touching different pieces, or they wore gloves. And it was very important that we maintained those rules. And surprisingly, our students did an amazing job at following those rules because they truly understood the impact that the summer camp will have, but they also understood that if something was to go wrong, we would have to shut down the summer camp, and no one wanted that, because our students desperately wanted some face-to-face time, and they wanted to be able to be out the house and being active. And Sharon, she's our program manager. She put together an amazing summer camp for our students, considering all the things that we had to deal with. We still travel like we always do. We made sure that we sanitized the van every single time we travel. We also had a professional cleaning company come in every weekend and clean the van, as well as clean the center, to make sure that our students were always coming into a clean, safe environment. The other thing that was extremely important about our camp is that we were able to provide meals. We were able to provide educational things. We had a high priority around academics this year, especially during the summer camp, considering that our students missed so much school time. And so we just wanted to make sure that we were trying to keep them on track or bring them up to speed on anything that they may have missed, so that way they didn't fall further behind if they were behind. We didn't want that to happen, and we definitely didn't want our students to suffer as a result of that. And so our Safe Camp was a huge success. We were one of a handful of centers in our neighborhood to do something like this. We figured it out, and that's a testament to our team, but it's also a testament to all of you who supported us. Because this year, we did not receive the grant that we always apply for summer camp. And we knew how important it was. And so when we reached out to all of you, you all stepped up and generously donated and allowed us to make this summer camp happen and to have it become the success that it was. And so what you're going to see right now is the recap of our summer camp, as well as some student testimonials.
Good morning.
Welcome to Safe Camp. My name is Chris. I'm going to the 8th grade, so I first started camp when I was in the 7th. Participating in Safe Camp was fun because, well, we actually had something to do instead of being in the house. We go on trips. We learn new stuff every day. One of the things I learned at the Science Center is, every time we're about to move, a signal is being sent to our brain, so our brain knows like when to move, like where to move. And we have professionals come in and tell us about more stuff about that. We seen Coach Van get on the bike that he uses at Kennedy Kruger, and when you ride the bike, it was sending signals to your body to know, like, to let you know to move it.
Hi, I'm Zay. Black Lives Matter. Women should not be taken for granted. Actually, we should all cherish every moment of living. Killing is senseless. It hurts us all.
I learned about credit cards, like Gap. You can learn about credit cards and other stuff that has to do with credit cards and like money in real life, because people use money every day, basically. And if you don't know nothing about a credit card and you have a credit card, you're not going to really know how to use it. X is for science, T is for technology, E is for engineering, and M is for math. And that means STEM.
Went kayaking this one time. Say if you were to flip the boat, it's always like you always need to keep communication with your partner so you can stay calm in that situation. I think teamwork will be like more useful in my life, in like school, basketball games. I think communicating with others is going to help me with like stuff that's going to happen in the future, because you always need to communicate, to get further in life.
Say you be like, I never want to do DNA in my life or something, and then once you go and do it on a trip, you're probably like, oh, that's probably what I want to do when I get older. So it's good to experience stuff, because like you can pick, like, it will give you more options to pick like what you want to do for like when you get older, for like your career.
So as you just saw and you just heard there, the impact that the summer camp had on our students. And so before I get into a deeper recap of the summer camp video, I just want you to hear our student testimonials.
Hello, my name is Kylie Lucas, and this is my first year being at the summer camp. My most memorable experience is when we were all together. I feel as though I learned something over the summer. Money management, the game Charge Large. It's this game that talks about debt, credit card. It's people here out in the real world that money manage, and I didn't know that before. I always just knew I use a card and you max it out, you pay stuff off, you get money back. It's going to help me in the future because I can think back and say, I learned about that game and now I know what to do.
So as you just saw there, that was one of our students. He's a sixth grader, and it was his first year joining us. And he had the pleasure of participating in our summer camp. And I just want to highlight and recap some of the things that were shown in the video and the activities that we did. And I want to start with Know Your Rights training. With everything going on in the world today around Black Lives Matter movement and the unfortunate incidents that we've been seeing, we definitely wanted to make sure that our students understood that their rights and how to interact with police officers that they may encounter as they go throughout life. And the Know Your Rights training was very important because they were able to ask a lawyer some very important questions that they've always wanted to know answers to. And they were able to hear the best ways that they should go about doing things and interacting with police officers. And so that was extremely, extremely important for our students to participate in that. And that was something that they loved. We actually ran that program before during the academic year, and that was highly requested that lady return, and which she did for the summer camp. And it was a valuable lesson for everyone that participated in that. The next one was, you heard our student Chris talk about teamwork and kayaking. A lot of the things that we always do here at SAFE is to make sure that they are becoming leaders of tomorrow, making sure they're going to be prepared to be those leaders that we desperately need to continue to move the needle forward for us. And when he talks about teamwork, we built out exercises and programs that will put them in those positions, whether they know that or not. And then my staff and I always makes the effort to emphasize those valuable life lessons and those valuable leadership lessons. And they don't think about them because it's such a fun thing. And the story that happened when we were kayaking was the students were rowing together, but they were rowing in different directions because, paddling, in different directions because they weren't communicating, and they flipped. I believe they actually flipped twice out of the kayak. And so we called them back to shore and we asked them some questions. Well, what happened? Why did you flip? Are you talking to each other? What's happening? And they self-identified that they were not talking to each other and I made sure that they understood the person in the front can't see what the person in the back is doing. So you have to stay in constant communication. And that was the lesson for that. And they learned to do that, and they didn't flip back in the water anymore. The next activity that I want to point out is the STEM activity that we did this summer. As you all know, I am in a wheelchair. I suffered a spinal cord injury back in 2004 when I was 16 while going in and making a tackle. And my students are always curious about my injury. They always want to know, how does it feel for me to not be able to move my legs? Or how does it feel for me not to be able to move my fingers? And this summer, with the support of Kennedy Krieger, we all came up with a really, really cool program. And that program was, they brought in an electric stimulation bike. And the electric stimulation bike, simply you put pads onto my muscles, connect it to the bike, and then the bike will shock my muscles and help me ride the bike. It's pretty much retraining my legs what to do in those situations. And so while I'm riding that bike, I'm saying to myself, left, right, and trying to push that bike with the assistance of that electric stimulation. And so we were able to allow our students not only to see me doing that, but they also was able to experience it for themselves to see what that machine was doing to their arms. Another thing that I explained to them was with running water, the top of the zinc is the brain. And then the signals going down to the bottom is the spinal cord. And so when there's a break, I put my finger in it. And when I put my finger in the water, no matter where I put it, the signals will scramble up below my finger, but above my finger, it was a steady stream. And so I use that exercise to explain to them what happens inside of my body. And then the last thing that we did to wrap that program all together was we created and built a device called a lip sync. And a lip sync is a 3D printed object or tool that allows individuals without mobility in their fingers or mobility in their arms to operate a computer using their mouth, a sip and puff. And the students were able to build that. And it was important that they experienced that because it showed that they today can create devices that can have an impact on people and that can truly change people's lives. And they had an opportunity to talk to my doctor that I've had over the past 16 years. They had the opportunity to talk to a couple of my physical therapists and occupational therapists that I work with over the past 10 years. And then they also had the opportunity to go through a design thinking course and thinking about how can they build these types of devices to help people in the world. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is our financial literacy program. Usually we would create some sort of business like a snowball business where our students will have those lessons right in front of them dealing with real money, but we couldn't do that this year. And so we came up, or we found some board games, one being Charge Large and the other one was Monopoly. And then we also invited another group to come in who teaches financial literacy, and they use Jenga. So Charge Large basically teaches our students how to use credit cards and talk about debt, good debt, bad debt. And it's a board game that they have to go around and they play. And it was interesting for them to go through the lessons that we were teaching, and then see them implementing some of those strategies while playing the game. We also did the same exact thing with Monopoly and talking about investments, investing into real estate, and how the game of Monopoly could teach you those types of skills. And then the Jenga game also was about credit cards. They would build the blocks up of Jenga, and then they answer some questions, or some different scenarios will come up that will force them to pull different color blocks out. And depending on where those blocks were placed, the thing will either stand or will fall over. And so those were some lessons that we taught. And it always important for our kids, again, to be face-to-face, to learn those lessons, because those are valuable skills that they're going to need for the rest of their lives. And so with that, if there are any questions, please put them in the chat. And we're going to head into another 5-minute break, and we'll see you shortly. Welcome back, everyone. So now we're going to begin to talk about our next thing that we started doing after we finished up our summer camp, and that is our learning pod. So because our students had so much fun during the summer camp, and that we were able to figure out how to safely have students inside of the building, when we heard that schools will be starting back virtually again, we thought, of course, how can we help? And as we all know, we are an after-school program. We work with our students 3 hours a day after school. And so for us to do a learning pod, we would essentially be tripling the amount of time we would be working with our students. And we realized, though, it was extremely important for us to try to figure this out, because when schools tried to do the virtual learning right after COVID hit, we noticed and we heard that a lot of our students didn't have access to technology. They didn't have access to tutors, or they necessarily didn't have a conducive environment to learning. And so my team and I, we said, we're going to figure this out. We also met with Franklin Square Elementary Middle School's Principal Roberts, who was extremely supportive of this initiative. and he came over and he worked with us and helped us figure out the best way of operating and running a learning pod. Now, there may be some people asking, well, what is a learning pod? And a learning pod is basically the Safe Center. The Safe Center opens up for the times that students will be in school. So from 8 to 3, the Safe Center will be open. And the learning pod, essentially students will come in and they'll have access to the technology that they need to get onto their Google Classrooms. So they'll have computers and Wi-Fi. They'll also have support there that will help them if they need support with the technology or support with the work that they will be receiving. And so to talk more about our learning pod, I would like to hand it over to Sharon McRae, our program manager, who was very instrumental in putting this together for us. Sharon?
Hello. Okay. So our learning pod is an eight-week program that assists students during the school day from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with virtual learning. We currently serve 20 students on an alternate days where Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have a group of 10 students, and then Tuesday and Thursday, we have the other group of 10, with the majority of them being from Franklin Square Elementary Middle School. We offer a variety of programs, all based around our core curriculum of STEAM, financial literacy, and health and fitness. Because of school closures due to COVID and many parents working during the day, we wanted to ensure that our students had access to technology, tutoring, and assistance for them to successfully complete learning. As a result of this, we decided to run our learning pod. We teamed up with some amazing volunteers to help further our mission during this time. I went through a course to learn how to navigate the Clever and Google Classrooms just to make sure we could all be of some assistance just in case students ran into some roadblocks at any point. Preparing for our learning pod took about 2 weeks. We started once camp ended and we began the process by going through, I'm so sorry. We began this process by going through what worked during camp and what didn't. We listened to the needs of the students and the parents that we worked with, as well as our partners of Franklin Square Elementary Middle School. After that, we had a team strategic planning session in which Principal Roberts participated in. During these sessions, we thought about the impact of COVID, the summer slide, as well as inclusivity, among other major factors. With all of the information we collected, we created this dope learning pod, which allows our students to not only have that educational time, but also some downtime, or what they assume to be downtime, because we turn regular learning into fun and games. Many ask, why do we do what we do? And I feel we have a huge impact. Well, I know we have a huge impact on the students with the learning pod and SAFE altogether. And I say this for many reasons, but I'll use myself as an example. Preparing breakfast, lunch, and snacks for students daily. When they see me doing this, they want to help and they want to know why I'm preparing these meals and still have other work to do. And I explain to them it's simple. I want them to, one, have all the energy they need to get them through the day so they can focus and be productive. And two, I provide these meals because it comes from the heart. And growing up, I was taught, you always help someone no matter how much you may have on your plate. You don't know what someone else is going through. And little goes a long way. So if I can help by making sure their tummies are full while they're getting an education, then that's what I'll do. Also running programming. When I create these unique programs with my team, we think about how we can tie these programs to school and then in turn apply it to the real world. To make sure that we remain safe, as well as keep our students and their families safe during these times, during arrival, we record the temperatures of all students, staff, and volunteers. And as soon as temperatures are taken, we all utilize the hand sanitizer. Each student is seated at their own table with their own supplies to complete their work daily. No materials are shared between any students. Tomorrow, we'll be starting our week 4 of our programming, While there have been ups and downs, we've noticed great work of our students, and you'll hear testimonials from one of our parents. And now we're going to hear a word from Principal Roberts.
The Learning Pods, sponsored by the Safe Center that is supporting the middle schoolers at Franklin Square, have been an invaluable resource supporting the social, emotional, and academic needs for our scholars. It has been a tremendous support for our scholars to be able to go to the Safe Center and be in a professionally sanitized space and also have adult supervision to help them learn the things they need to learn in conjunction with the virtual learning being taught by our Baltimore City Public Schools Franklin Square teachers. It's a great resource in terms of adolescents being able to socialize, to be able to work together and collaborate and do the things they need to do and continue learning despite everything that's going on in the pandemic, and to have a safe place to go and learn. And so we're tremendously grateful for their efforts, and we are always happy to have a partnership with the Safe Center to support the needs of our scholars.
Sharon, thank you so much for reviewing and giving some insight into what all went into our learning pod. It was extremely important that, again, we ran something like this to assist Principal Roberts and to assist our families and students that we work with, because we understood the issues and we understood some of the barriers that they may face when trying to run virtual programming, again, whether it's technological issues, a conducive environment, access to tutors, or parents just not, parents having to work and not being able to be home to assist their students with their educational needs during this time. And so now you're going to hear parent testimony about the work that we've been doing.
Hello, my name is Sharita. I'm the parent of Rihanna Aldridge. And I just want to say that we appreciate the Safe Center for everything that they do and have done for Rihanna. They are a very supportive team. They're dependable. They're just amazing. Overall, very great people. Professional, loving, caring. I tell them all the time how much I appreciate them for everything that they've done for her thus far and done for us as one. I always explain to them how it takes a village to raise a child, and they are my village. Without them, I don't know where we would be. And it's not easy, trying to be there for these children that need our love and support and attention when you're a single mother and you might have to work and you don't have that option to be there for the children the way that you should be or want to be. That's when the Safe Center comes into play, and they be there for me. They help her with her work. They stay on top of her. They listen to her. They're just very supportive, and they're awesome, awesome people. I just love them. Rihanna loved them. They love her, and I wouldn't trade them in for the world. The Safe Center is an awesome opportunity for the children, and I greatly appreciate them, and I hope that she can continue to be in the program.
And as you saw, the parent of Rihanna has been with us since she was in the 6th grade. And we will definitely continue to work with Rihanna. And you will also hear the work that we've been doing with some of our alum. And so when Rihanna becomes an alum, we'll continue to work with her. And that goes for all of our students. Once they become a part of SAFE, they're now in the family and they can't get rid of us. We always make sure that we follow up with our students and make sure that they have the things that they need to go on and to be successful. And so we have another break getting ready to come up. But before we do that, I just want to remind everyone that we do have our Text to Give campaign going on. That information is located right there in the chat. You can also visit our website and make a donation there if you would like to. But thank you so much for supporting. As you've seen so far throughout the program, that your support goes directly to our students, goes directly to our families, and making sure that they are going to be able to be successful and make it through everything that they may be going through involving COVID and beyond. So thanks again. And at this moment, we're going to head into another break. But during this break, you will be hearing some video testimonials of our students.
My name is Malachi Loveless, and SAFE taught me to be the better me. They gave me more confidence, better time management, more openness, and more discipline. They gave kids opportunities that parents wish they ever had when they was younger, and I'm so grateful and so blessed to be a part of that. They inspired me to do great, and I will continue to do that. And now I'm better with tools. I'm a lacrosse captain, and I'm really interested in helping kids now. And I wouldn't know who I would be without them. I started with them since 6th grade when I played flag football for them, and this hasn't been a single regret, and I love working with them, and I hope to continue working with them in the future when I graduate high school.
Hey William. Hello, I'm Trinae Williams, your favorite SAFE alumni. As you all may know, me and Trinae, we used to attend the Institute of Notre Dame, also known as IND. Due to the closing, we are now in our 11th grade year at Newtown High School. Today we're here to tell you 4 important ways on how we think SAFE has prepared us for our high school journey and our new life. Number 1, responsibility. SAFE has always taught us to take responsibility in anything that you've ever done, no matter if you may not like it or others may not like it. Always take responsibility. Number 2 is independence. Always be independent. Do what you think is best. Never do anything that you feel like you wouldn't like but the other person would like. Number 3 is risk taking. Nothing is wrong with taking risks and doing anything out of your comfort zone. Number 4 is networking. Always network. The people you know, they can know people, and the more people you know, the more doors that will open for you. Thank you guys for watching. Unfortunately, we had to do it virtually, but we still hope you enjoy.
Hello to you all. My name is Corey Bowden Jr., as you all may know by now, and I'm an alumni of SAFE. The first time I stood in front of you all was 4 years ago when I started my high school career into Crystal Red. Now, I sit here 4 years later as a senior. SAFE has been a huge part of not only my high school career, but of my life. From 5th grade, Coach Van, Miss Sharon, along with Miss Anna, and many other workers in the SAFE Center have instilled in me that there's so much more to life than what I experience and see every day. Because of SAFE, I was able to start my journey into Crystal Ray, and that's something I will never be able to repay them for. They put me on the right track to be successful, and I plan to stay and be successful through college and beyond that. I plan to attend Howard University or Yale next fall to study law, and I can say that SAFE played a huge part in that decision. Prior to, I wasn't really thinking about college. I mean, it wasn't a big thing in my life. But because of SAFE and the morals they instilled in me, I have the confidence and exposure necessary to pursue these big name schools. Thank you to SAFE and everything that you've done for me and my family. And on that note, stay tuned because my little sister will be eligible for SAFE next year. The next generation is coming. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daquan. I was with SAFE for 4 years, and SAFE has helped me with my full transition from high school to college. In high school, they helped me improve my grades, they helped me improve in different subjects, and helped me improve myself overall. During my senior year of high school, they helped me with my full college process by helping me sign up for different college applications, helping me sign up for FAFSA, and sending me scholarships to check out and sign up for weekly. I would really like to thank SAFE for this because I was really lost in the process and I really needed the help, and I appreciate it and my family appreciates it.
Welcome back. I hope you really enjoyed hearing those testimonials from some of our alum. As I said, once you're a part of SAFE, you're always going to be with SAFE, and you're a part of the family, and you can't get rid of us. But we really wanted to showcase some of our alum because we wanted to let you know that the support that you give, and also show that the support that you give to us is truly having an impact on all of the students that we work with. We want to make sure that they are going to go off and be successful. We want to make sure that we are preparing, again, our future leaders, as you heard Corey say, our future leaders who will be taking over when we get older and we stop doing these things. And so I just want to thank you so much. I truly appreciate all that you do for us and all that you do for our students, because you make our work easier. Okay, you make our work easier. And so the next thing I would like to do is transition over into talking about our new Workforce Development Center project that we're currently working on. So I would like to begin, as you see on your screen, the video that's playing is of the current state of this Workforce Development Center. And I would like to thank the Building for God Community Foundation for all the support that they've been giving us for the Workforce Development Center. When I reached out to Mike Brooks and his team over at the Building for God Community Foundation, and I talked to him about the work that we wanted to do with helping our families and helping our older adult students to get into the workforce, he said, "What do you need, Van? What do you need?" And he generously, through his foundation and the Building for God Community Foundation, provided us with a 5-year grant in the amount of $100,000. And that is a matching grant. That is a matching grant that we will receive $20,000 a year, and we will fundraise the other 20 a year to match that. And this bull roast last year served as the matching grant for us. And we are truly, truly appreciative of not only the Building for God Community Foundation, but also your generous support of all of our initiatives. And so now I'm going to talk about what's going to take place inside of this Workforce Development Center and why we decided to make this transition and how it connects to the work that we're currently doing with our middle school students. So as you're seeing in the video, we've been doing woodshop for the past 5 years. And our students absolutely love woodshop. And woodshop is important to us because it does a couple of things for our students. It connects the dots between the real world and the classroom. As you see there, they're learning about math. They're learning about math in a very fun way. When we talk to students about fractions and decimals, sometimes they don't quite understand, why do we need to know this, or how does this apply to my life? And woodshop helps them understand that. At woodshop, they're learning math skills. They're having fun. They're learning how to use machinery, and they're getting insight into potential career paths. And that's extremely important. And those are the types of programs that we run at the SAFE Center. And so when thinking about workforce development, why workforce development? We hear a lot in our community that individuals need help finding support to get jobs, or they need the skills or the educational trainings to get jobs, and to not only get jobs, but to turn those jobs into careers and have those careers be family supporting careers. Because the importance of having family supporting careers, it opens the world up to so many other things. Opens the world up to healthcare. It opens the world up to good food. We live in a food apartheid. And basically what that means is we have food available, but the food that we have available isn't the food that we need, isn't the food that we need to be healthy. It's a lot of snack foods. We don't have a supermarket. We have more so off-brand markets here. And so by having access to careers, they have access to healthcare, they have access to better food. The other thing that the Workforce Development Center will do, it will help refurbish some of the abandoned houses that we have in our community. When you change the environment that our students and our families live in, it also helps in changing the mindset. It does something internally. And the Workforce Development Center will work to do those things by refurbishing these vacant houses. But not only are we going to refurbish the vacant houses, we're also going to use those vacant houses for affordable homes, because we have seen and we have done the research to understand that with affordable housing and with good, stable housing, that does so much for families and it does so much for students. And so when we talk about removing barriers, we want to remove barriers that will allow students, middle school students, to actually be kids and don't have to worry about some of the other things that they may have to face due to the lack of resources or the lack of opportunities that their older siblings or their parents may not have. And so the workforce development will work to do all of those things. So what is it going to look like? Again, as you see, that's the current state of the Workforce Development Center. We were on track to begin doing work in September had not COVID hit. Actually, the goal was to have it open in September had not COVID hit. But once COVID hit, we had to readjust. And as you've seen, we've done a really good job at readjusting and providing for our students and our families. And unfortunately, during that time, the Workforce Development Center just had to take a back seat. But now that we are operating with all of our COVID or post-COVID or mid-COVID, wherever we are right now, now that we have a handle on those things and running our learning pods and making sure that our students are safe, we now can transition back into focusing on a Workforce Development Center. At the Workforce Development Center, the first level will have a woodshop. Right now, we travel out to Owens Mills to do woodshop, and that's about a 30-minute drive on a good day. And so we're there for an hour. So if you look at that, we're there for an hour and we're in the car traveling for an hour, going up and then coming back. The woodshop inside the Workforce Development Center will be located 5 minutes away from our current center. And our students will have more time there. They'll be able to really dive deeper into the classes and into the experiences that woodshop presents. But we'll also be able to accommodate a lot more students. We will be working with Franklin Square Elementary and Middle School in our partnership to have more students coming down and to teach classes, math classes inside of the woodshop. And again, connecting those dots to the real world. The other thing the woodshop will have is classroom space. It's important that we have classroom space because we want our students, participants, to be able to receive the soft skills training and the resume training that they need to be successful with getting a job. We'll be able to do all of those things inside of there. And so the way that the Workforce Development Center is going to operate is the woodshop will be for our middle school students, but it will also be for our older adults, 18 to 24 years old. It will allow them to get experience working with different kinds of machines that they will eventually be using. It will give them that hands-on experience. And in case you haven't noticed already, we're very big on the hands-on experience, and we're very big on just exposing our students to different things. And so the woodshop will do that for our older adults. The woodshop will also, again, allow us just to accommodate a lot more people with this experience and begin to create a pipeline for our future workforce. For the older adults, they will also again go through the soft skill training, but they'll go through the technical skills training. And the technical skills training will take place in those abandoned houses that I talked about earlier. The technical skills training will allow them to go to a job, employer, skills already. They don't have to go there and learn how to do things. They'll learn how to do things. They'll already have some experience coming into the door, which will make them more attractive, if for lack of better words at the moment. It'll put them a step further in the process. And we're looking forward to working with some of our partners, the Building for God Community Foundation, everyone who's been assisting us with this entire process. The goal now is to have the first level of the Workforce Development Center open by January of 2021. Hopefully we have no more setbacks with COVID. And then we hope that we'll have both floors of the Workforce Development Center open by this time next year. And so your support will definitely be huge in helping us getting this operational. So far we've received some support for this, but we definitely need more support. Another reason why we really want to get this Workforce Development Center open as soon as possible is because post-COVID, we want to make sure that our families and our community, they have the skills and the resources to get back to work, because people are suffering right now. And the last thing that we want to do is for people to come out of COVID and not be able to have the skills to get employment. And so it's extremely important that we really get this operational. And so I just want to thank you all so much. And before I close, I just want to, again, thank everyone who supported this. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, Care First. I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Care First. I want to thank White & Turner, the Ann Casey Foundation, Kelly Financial, the Bradley Company, the Kimmel Company, Dara Schnee, the Ravens, Lewis Construction, Business Improvement Group, Robin and Pat Tracy, Cheryl and Rob Truska, Shelly and Van Brooks, my parents, Cindy Jones, the Building Better Sandtown Company, of course, Ray Bruska and Laura Bruska, Mike Gorman and Gordon, and everyone who participated in helping us bring this virtual event to fruition and have it be successful. The support means so much to us. But last but not least, before I close out, I would like to thank my staff, my team. Without them, none of this will be going on. Sharon McGray, Javon Roy, Ethan Thompson. And I know I already thanked Laura Bruska, but I want to thank her again because she is also our grant writer and grant manager. And so, again, in closing, I just want to thank you all so much. I truly appreciate it. The Text to Give campaign will be open for 24 hours. So please continue to use that number or visit our website at www.safealternative.org/full-roast. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat.
Hey, Van, this is Ray. I just want to let you know we're basically at $4,000 through the text system so far. Thanks to everybody for making donations. And as Van said, it'll be up for the next 24 hours. Let's keep them going.
Thank you. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll be here. Thank you all so much.
Really good work, Van. And
One sec, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure recording and everything has stopped.